Welcome to the France 24 interview. Until last December, Tariq al-Hashimi was Iraq's vice president, and he was also the most senior Sunni Muslim politician in a government dominated by Shiites. Today, he's a fugitive based in Turkey. Now, last Sunday, Hashimi was sentenced by an Iraqi court in absentia to death by hanging on charges that he orchestrated terror attacks against his rivals. Hashemi has denounced the guilty verdict and the sentence as unjust and politically motivated. He accuses Iraq's Shiite Prime Minister, Nouri al-Maliki, of conducting a political witch hunt against him and other Sunni opponents. Now, this crisis all comes, as you know, amid a surge in violence across Iraq that has underscored the country's continuing instability. Thanks for joining us today, sir, from Istanbul.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Iraqi court says you ran death squads. You say you are absolutely innocent and that you will not return to Iraq unless you can be guaranteed a free trial. So right now, it looks like you're stuck in Turkey. What are you doing there? Are you plotting to overthrow Nouri al-Maliki?
Thank you very much for this interview. I do have many things, in fact, to keep me busy. My channel to international communities, in fact, about human rights. A human rights file, in fact, is very active. I am also in close coordination with my colleagues inside Iraq as how to create some sort of exit to the political impasse that al-Maliki has created, unfortunately, since the Erbil agreement. In the same time, in fact, I am pressurizing the Iraqi government, Nouri al-Maliki, to comply with the constitution, to comply with the Iraqi law, to offer me an opportunities to present myself to a fair court, either in Kurdistan or in Kirkuk, to accept a transfer of the case from Baghdad to these two provinces. And I'm not putting myself, in fact, on top of the judicial system. And don't forget, this verdict is void because that the criminal court is not specialized. It's illegal according to Article number 95 of the Constitution.
But sir, the fact is, according to the Iraqi court, this verdict stands. You have 30 days to appeal it. I want to know, is there a chance
No, this is, my dear friend, in fact, this is just a misleading. This is not correct. There will be no appeal.
You will not appeal?
That verdict, no, there is no appeal. There will be, that verdict is a preliminary verdict. It's not a final. The Iraqi court will wait Tariq al-Hashimi for some time in the future, any time, from now until might be 10 years, 20 years, 1 month. It's up to me to show up in Iraqi trial, then the trial will start from scratch. This is the procedure according to the law.
Regardless of that, let's look at the facts here. You are in Istanbul, Turkey right now. The Turkish Prime Minister says you are free to stay as long as you like. But surely this is creating a very awkward situation for the Turkish government. It already has bad relations with the Iraqi government. Do you feel awkward staying in Turkey? You're straining relations between Turkey and Iraq.
No. I think this is just a temporary development in the bilateral relationship between Turkey and Iraq, and there are many other differences, in fact, and the problems facing the relationship between two countries. Yes, al-Maliki created this problem unnecessarily because when I was in Erbil, he made an appeal to Mr. Barzani to assist al-Hashimi to flee out the country. He sent the same message to the President Talabani and tried to encourage him to offer Mr. al-Hashimi an ongoing and open on leave to go outside. From the beginning, al-Maliki very much interested, in fact, to take me out of the political process, out of the country. Now I am in Turkey. So what is the difference if I am in Turkey or I am in Qatar or in Saudi Arabia or in other countries, in fact? He unnecessarily creating these problems, in fact, for a hidden agenda. This gentleman becoming a part of different somebody else's agenda, creating this problem to Turkey unnecessarily. I am not part of it.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but let's look at the fact that you do have Maliki is a Shiite, you are a Sunni. There are a lot of people who look at this crisis and they say that neither of you are helping the situation in Iraq. It's one of the most violent months we've seen in Iraq. Sunnis against Shiites, the sectarian strife is worse than ever. You're not helping matters any.
No, I can accept, in fact, this statement from your good self. My speech yesterday was quite clear. I asked all the Iraqi people to behave in sensible, in civilized, and in a peace way. That was my message yesterday to my supporters and to all other Iraqi people.
So you have
this
called,
is the philosophy of Tariq
you have
al-Hashimi.
called on Sunni. You are calling on your Sunni supporters, mostly Sunni supporters, to refrain from any violence over this issue.
That's right. I have done. I didn't nominate the Sunnis. I was talking to everybody. Certainly, the priority to my supporters. I will never accept any sort of behavior outside the constitution and the law. We do have in democratic situation. We have many means and ways to pressurize Nouri al-Maliki and his government and his security apparatus to act and to comply with the law and with the constitution.
Sir, back in 2006, there was a U.S. newspaper report, you probably remember it, that says that you were involved in an effort to form a multi-sectarian government to get Maliki out of power. 6 years later, some people would say you're still trying to do the same thing. You still want to get him out of power. Back then, you had George W. Bush supporting you. Today, you don't.
No way. In fact, from the beginning, on the contrary. In fact, who selected Nouri al-Maliki 2006 as a replacement candidate as a vice president instead of ex-Prime Minister Ibrahim al-Ja'fari? Tariq al-Hashimi was behind this selection, and even when we forced by Iranian interference to waive our right in forming the government after we, as an Iraqi, be the winner of the election, we made this waiver for the solidarity of the Iraqis, for the reconciliation of the Iraqis, and offer these opportunities for Nouri al-Maliki. Who was behind that? Tariq al-Hashimi was a partner in this decision.
So you would say that you've been trying to make peace among these factions while Maliki himself has been trying to encourage more sectarian strife, if I understand you correctly.
Yes, that's right, in fact, and he's pushing things, in fact, for fresh sectarian strife unnecessarily, and try my best to try to accommodate and to challenge this uncivilized, unacceptable behavior from Nouri al-Maliki.
Unacceptable. Sir, do you still consider yourself the vice president of Iraq? We've heard people refer to you as the former vice president. Are you still the vice president of Iraq, in your opinion?
I refer you to the statement issued 2 days ago by the President, Mr. Talabani. By this statement, in fact, he confirmed that regardless of this verdict, Tariq al-Hashimi is still my vice president.
Okay. Do you see the possibility of you going back to Iraq, getting a fair trial, and then serving in a government again with Nouri al-Maliki?
No way. And Nouri al-Maliki becoming part of the problem, and I am part of the solution. So there is no way, in fact, to reconcile our differences.
What do you think right now when you look at the situation getting, it seems, worse in Iraq, the insurgent violence?
It's up to the leaders of Iraq, it's up to the politicians of Iraq. In fact, they should reactivate the vote for no confidence as soon as possible to put things in order and try to protect and safeguard the future of my country from any possible of collapse.
Sir, you remember obviously well, back in 2007, you were the person who wrote the so-called Iraqi National Compact. It was supposed to be a document that would reconcile the sectarian factions within Iraq. We're seeing just the opposite today. What do you think when you see the situation?
Well, you are talking about my behavior, about what I have done in 2007? Sorry?
Some people would say you were a man who was behind a document that was meant to reconcile Iraq. And many people would say that the situation you find yourself in today is feeding the violence rather than helping to stop it.
Well, I tried my best, in fact, but unfortunately, the United States left my country with tremendous challenges without taking care of the challenges: security, economy, services, bilateral relationship, everything, in fact, is represent real and major challenges, which is well beyond the capacity of the Iraqi people. I tried my best, but I was anticipating the Western countries, including European Union, United States, the Arabian countries, to help, but they are not rendering enough support.
Sir, Turkey says you can stay. If at some point you have to leave Turkey, where would you go? Some people might say Saudi Arabia, Qatar. Who are your other allies at this point?
I do have many options, in fact, to consider, and I will declare that due course.
Tarek El-Hashimi, thank you very much for being my guest today, joining me from Istanbul.
You are most welcome.
You are right now, they're denying charges that you were involved in orchestrating any sort of terror attacks against political rivals, and you called the guilty verdict against you politically orchestrated. I thank you very much for watching us here on France 24. Stay tuned for news coming up next.